Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got games against Peterborough and Rochdale, both away from home. Hopefully though, we're going to get some pretty decent results because since you were last here, we've not lost a league game, which is pretty impressive. The secret to our success is we changed formations. We changed away from the 4-3-1-2 and went back to a very familiar 4-1-4-1 that perhaps we should never ever moved away from in the first place. We've gone back to it and it's worked really well for us. So let me take you through the results from last episode. So last episode you were here for the 1-0 loss to Portsmouth and the 1-1 draw to Oxford. Straight away after that we played Salford in the Checkatrade Trophy and lost that 1-0. That was a disappointment, wasn't particularly good. Something had to change. We switched formations to the 4-1-4-1. So we've got the defensive midfielder, two midfielders, a wingers, and a striker, and as well as four defenders, obviously. So we're back to that formation. And as you can see since then, we have not lost in 8 games, which is mental. So we started off against Bradford, a team that we really had to beat because they were below us in the table, and we were lucky to get a draw, really. We didn't play massively well, but I thought, well, let's stick with formation. Warren Woodthorpe got the goal in that game, so that was good to see. We followed it up with a 2-1 win away to Luton. Hawkins and Dylan Monk with the goal this time round. Luton at the time were bottom of the table, so this really was a must-win game, and we actually did pick up the 3 points for the second time in the season, which is really good to see. We then followed up with a 1-0 win against local rivals Hull at home. Hawkins with the goal there in the 26th minute. Only 2,400 fans at this game, which is a little bit low. I'm expecting more, really. I wanted to be a bit more around the 3,000 mark this season, but maybe we'll get there towards the end of the season, I don't know. But if results keep going like this, like the 2-1 win over Walsall, which saw a decrease in attendance of only 1,800, but a 2-1 win with Ben Whitfield scoring a penalty and Dylan Monk getting another goal in that game, which is really good to see. Our incredibly good record against Middlesbrough has continued as we drew 2-2 with them. We beat them twice last season. This time we get a 2-2 draw with them away from home. Dylan Monk with both of the goals in this game. He had a pretty decent spell of scoring goals there. 4 goals in 3 games. Hadn't scored since though, unfortunately, as we had a 0-0 draw against Blackburn the game after at home. Bit of a drab match that. We then played local rivals, another local rival, Notts County this time. We won at 2-0. This time, Tyler Monk, the attacking midfielder, he got a bit of game time in that game. He scored in the 80th minute, with Mark Mason scoring very late on to equal Dylan Monk's 4 goals this season. But Mark Mason is our top goal scorer this season in all competitions with 5 goals now, as he scored in the 93rd minute of the game against Huddersfield in the Checkatrade Trophy. Tyler Monk also getting a late goal there in the 89th minute. We were losing 1-0, as you can see, for a vast majority of the game before we snuck in there and picked up some extra points for the Checkatrade Trophy. Not that it's an important competition, but we've not progressed past the group stage of it yet. Currently, as things stand, we are second in the group with only Hull to play. So a positive result against Hull would mean that we should, I think, qualify for the later stages of the Checkatrade Trophy unless Salford beat Huddersfield, which would be a bit of a disappointment. But hopefully we can progress because we've not done it yet, and I'd like to see the later stages of this competition. Our superb form in the league, though, does leave us 12th in the table right now with 21 points. Miles better than we were last season, which is really, really good to see. When the league table wants to load and we have a quick look at it in full, as you can see, we're in 12th, 21 points, level on points with Colchester, and only 3 points away from the playoffs, so it's all pretty tight still in that mid-table upper half. If we look down to the relegation zone, Luton are on 9 points, so we are miles away from the relegation zone, so I don't think we have to worry about being in a battle there anytime soon. So there we go, that's all the updates for you from last time and in between episodes. It's looking pretty good for us. We seem to have found a good patch of form. Hopefully it will continue today against Peterborough. Right, Peterborough are in the playoffs, aren't they? We just mentioned, aren't they? So a win against them today could put us ahead of them in the table, which is really, really good. This is the starting lineup for today's game. A few players are rested, a few players are looking tired because we can't rest them. We had a game a few days ago in the Checkatrade Trophy, of course, so it's a bit of a tight turnaround in between games, but McClement stays in goal as per usual. He's been there all season, playing quite well. Thornton still stays at left-back in today, but Turiak did play recently, looking very tired. That's why he's not starting. Farrell and Hunter are starting to make a really nice centre-back partnership, but David Marshall is getting a little bit cross. He's not playing games, so we need to give him a bit of time at centre-back at some point. Asuko staying at right-back as well because he's been really good and the only right-back we've got, of course. Woodthorpe has come into his own after we moved to this formation. He's played as our CDM and done really, really well so far, so I'm very pleased with him. Hawkins is bossing the midfield as a box-to-box midfielder, with Heems playing very well as a deep-line playmaker. You were pleased to see Danny Douglas-Hurst back in his usual position on the right wing, as he always was for us when he was on loan for us, so that's pretty decent as well. Ben Whitfield on the left-hand side as an inside forward. He's that chap we brought in who can sort of play anywhere across midfield. He's really, really versatile. Probably actually better on the right-hand side, but we've got Douglas Hurst there, so he's going to play on the left. And Dylan Monk is going to lead the line for us today. Played very well recently. Mason's the guy who scored the goals in the previous 2 games, alongside Monk's name counterpart. Where is he? He's down here somewhere. Oh yeah, Tyler Monk down there. He's been rested for this game as well, although maybe we should probably put him on the bench actually instead of Rickwood. That probably makes a bit more sense. We've got Mason on the bench already, just because they played last game. They're looking a bit tired, both of them. So Mason on the bench. Dylan Monk is going to be starting up front, leading the line against Peterborough today, but we'll probably swap it round again for the next game against Rochdale. So there you go, there's your lineup. This is kind of what we've been playing recently, and it's been working quite well. So let's all watch it fall apart as soon as we get on camera. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today at Peterborough. Another local rivalry, I suppose, actually. Peterborough really not, it's only an hour away from Lincoln or so, so another local rivalry. Quite a few of them this season with Hull, with Peterborough, with Notts County as well. Any other clubs that are pretty close to us, I suppose? If we look down here, Burton's not a million miles away. Doncaster's not very far away either. So quite a few, like, you know, big games, I suppose, localish games coming up. Peterborough, though, are probably going to be a much better side than us today. They've got a much bigger budget. They're a much bigger place than, well, not really a bigger place than Lincoln, I don't think. I'm not quite sure on the actual size, but a much bigger club than Lincoln United, I should say. Lincoln City, maybe a bit debatable, but Lincoln United, much bigger. They've got a free kick in the 26th minute, which McClement makes the save from. That was the first highlight of the game. So it's been quite a cagey one so far. Pretty close in the stats as things stand. I would take a draw today, I've got to say, against Peterborough. The previous few games, we've had some draws against some better sides in the division. Peterborough do go 1-0 up, unfortunately, but we have clawed games back as well recently, so that's also quite a positive thing to take from things. For the most part, though, in between episodes, we have been playing teams sort of below our level, I should say, or equivalent to our level. We haven't really had many tests from inside. In fact, I don't think we've played any team inside the playoffs apart from Middlesbrough, and we just seem to play really well against them for some reason every time we play against them. Peterborough's going to be the toughest side we've played against since Portsmouth last episode. We nearly grab a goal there. Dylan Monk with a great chance to score, but unfortunately surrounded by 2 players. His shot was straight at the goalkeeper, but that's nice. Hopefully we get a bit more of that. Half-time, though, we are still losing, so we're going to go aggressively. Show me something else in the second half. Victor Asuko apparently looked a bit demotivated by that. Let's just have a little chat with him. All right, lad, let's not get too upset about things. You've played well today. He's happy now, bless him. He's got a smile on his face. You know, he's one of those players that just doesn't react well to being told off. You know, he's like a naughty schoolboy, and he just doesn't like being told off. That was a rubbish analogy, because if he's a naughty schoolboy, he's probably used to being told off. And he's not been naughty at all. He's been a superb player, to be fair. So that didn't really make much sense, Tom. Either way, at the other end of the pitch, Peterborough are coming forward, and wow, score a goal out of nothing. Really, I've got to say that was a nothing chance, and Peterborough 2-0 up. Again, though, we have been the team slightly on top, as we've seen in every episode so far. Pretty much every game we've played on episode. Shots are pretty similar right now, but in terms of possession stuff, we're miles on top, and they've nearly grabbed another one there, Peterborough. We need to get our act together, I've got to say, out there. We may have a counter-attack right now as Asuko puts the ball forward to Danny Douglas-Hurst, who's on a yellow card. Need to be careful with him. He comes forward with the ball pretty unchallenged. He puts a ball forward to Whitfield. He puts it just wide of the post. We've had better chances, I think, in this game, to be fair, than Peterborough, but they've taken theirs a bit better than us. Time to make some changes. Mark Mason's going to come on for Dylan Monk. Heems is looking tired out there, so we'll bring Belcher on for him as well. And Mark Hunter also looking tired, so we're going to bring on Marshall as well. So 3 subs at the same time. Slightly risky, but 20 minutes to go. We need to make some pretty drastic changes if we want to get anything out of this game now. Free kick for Peterborough, though. I mean, it looks like they're going to be taking all the spoils today. We're not really challenging too much, as their shot is just wide of the post. A nice curling effort, to be fair, from O'Hare. Again, I'm disappointed. I mean, this is probably the toughest challenge we've had, apart from Middlesbrough, since last episode. But we haven't really done very well with it, as they've nearly scored another one. We have just sort of dropped out of things recently, but our possession's been mental. Like, our pass completion's really good, winning like 93% of our tackles. Like, we are playing really well, I think. I just don't think I don't know, Peterborough are just better than us. That's the only reason to say that they've won this game. They've just done better with their chances. They're probably just slightly better players than us that can just do a little bit more with the ball, a bit more technical things like that. I think we've played well. The stats seem to suggest that we've played on a very even playing field with Peterborough, but they're taking the 3 points today. And that's the first loss we've had in 8 games, which actually is quite disappointing, but We can't be too cross. It was going to happen at some point, and it's a shame it's happened on camera after such a good run in between episodes. But Douglashurst cross comes to nothing, and as the clock ticks down, I don't think we're going to be scoring any goals anytime soon. If anything, Peterborough are going to be scoring the goals. And there we go. Peterborough win it 2-0. To be fair, the last 10 minutes, they really did come into their own, but for 80 minutes of that game, we were in it properly, and I think we probably deserved more than a loss. Stupidly, I got my assistant manager to do the team talk, and he says, I'm pleased with your performance out there, which is never a good thing to say when you lose. Issue. Danny Douglashurst out for 3 to 4 weeks with a twisted ankle. I mean, okay. We do have other players that can sort of play on the wing. We can put Whitfield there. He's quite good there, Whitfield. On the left-hand side, though, we've got Turiak who can play there. To be fair, Dylan Monk, we're fine. Of course, we're absolutely fine. If we're being honest, to be fair, Douglashurst should be nowhere near a League One side, but we play him because I just quite like him, and that's kind of it, really. So we got to a Saturday, and there's League One fixtures kicking off. We're not playing. We're playing Rochdale on the Tuesday, but Rochdale are playing against Portsmouth today. So they're going to be very tired by the time we go to their place to play them. So that might play into our hands. Even better, they took a 3-2 pummeling to Portsmouth. That's not a pummeling 3-2, Tom. They lost 3-2. Actually came back into it at the end of the game. So that's something we need to worry about. Perhaps Rochdale finish games better than they start games. So we need to try and get as many goals as early as possible against them. Right then, the Rochdale game, we need to swap things round. Whitfield is going to move over to the right-hand side of the pitch. And it's the left-hand side. We've got to now choose between Turiak and Monk. I don't know who I want to play between Turiak and Monk. So the fairest way to decide this between the two players is EENIE MEENIE MINEY MO, catch a tiger by its toe. If it squeals, let it go. EENIE MEENIE MINEY MO. Monk. Monk gets a place. On you go, lad. You're replacing Douglashurst. Have a good game. It's not even actually Tyler Monk. It's Dylan Monk who plays on my left wing. That's the downside of having two players called Monk. In that case then, Mason comes on for Tyler Monk up front, obviously. So Mason's going to be leading the line for us today. Douglashurst has to come off the bench, obviously. We'll put Rickwood on for him instead. And actually then, I think that's probably the best lineup we've got going for us at the moment then. Let's do it. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. Taking on Rochdale away from home, a game that we need to bounce back from that defeat to Peterborough. That defeat to Peterborough and their subsequent win at the weekend has put them up to second in the table. So they are a very, very good side. We've currently dropped down to 14th, Rochdale in 16th. This really is a proper mid-table scrap as they have a corner pretty early on which is cleared. And we managed to get the ball out properly, but not really getting the proper clearances. Asuko mops things up as Hawkins can now try and lead a bit of a counter-attack as Whitfield plays it into Heems in the middle of the park. Back to Whitfield, and Whitfield coming forward is tackled. Rochdale trying to put the ball forward. Hasn't worked out too well for them yet as Hunter now back to Asuko. Just playing it around the back relatively calmly. We do like to try and keep possession, and I think possession-based football is the way to go, really, I think. We profit the most from it as the ball forward to Mason is good. Mason looking for his 6th of the season, gets it. Superb assistant by Dylan Monk. But I've got to say, an even better finish from him. That was sublime. To get behind the defenders like that, beat them to the near post, and then slot it past the goalkeeper at the near post, that's talent. Rochdale, though, trying to come back into this game. Surely Long was in an offside position there. Doesn't matter because Farrell really excellently gets back there, tackles him superbly and clears the lines. Farrell and Hunter, they are both superb signings. We've done so well to get them. They've played really well this season. I'm really proud of them both. Woodthorpe, though, has picked up a knock, bruised ankle. He's got a bruised ankle. It should be the sort of thing he can play through. So, yeah, we'll monitor it until maybe the 50, 60-minute sort of thing. We can bring other players on, of course, in that position. Masters could get a game, although he has just played for the under-23s or under-18s in midweek, so he's not actually looking particularly rosy out there. 1-0 up at half-time is good, but it's not good enough, especially as we've only had one shot. We need more shots than that in the second half if we want to really take this game to Rochdale and win. Woodthorpe, though, is probably going to be coming off the pitch anytime soon. We'll watch his highlight first as Whitfield puts the ball in towards Monk, saved by their goalkeeper Fairweather. We are doing a lot better, I think, at the start of the second half in terms of our attacking play. So I'm reluctant. If Long scores from this, he hasn't, but that was way too easy for Rochdale to get in behind our defence there. Time is now to change things, though. Woodthorpe is going to be coming off the pitch. We don't want to risk him too much, and instead Where is he? Where is he? Tyler Monk coming on the pitch in that attacking midfielder position. Can he be anything else? Attacking playmaker now. Let's make him attacking midfielder because we've got a deep line playmaker in Heem, so that's okay. So half an hour left in this game. We're holding on to a 1-0 lead. We are the better of the two. Again, I think we are the better of the two sides out there. Whitfield's cross comes in from the free kick, cleared. And it's actually Long who picks the ball up for Rochdale coming on the counter-attack now. I like the look of Long. I like that he also gets tackled there. I might be tempted to sign Long or a player like Long. He seems like a pretty tricky player to handle. But we've retained possession. Trying to build from the back once again. Ball out to Whitfield on the wing as he looks to come forward with the ball now. Into Mark Mason. Mason nearly trying to do the same again at the near post. Doesn't quite work out for him. 15 minutes to go, and if we do see out the win here today, it's going to be a really vital 3 points coming into the season. Whitfield's cross. Dylan Monk hits the crossbar. It's cleared. We really should have scored more than one goal here today, and I can feel it coming. I can feel a Rochdale goal coming at some point in this game at the end of it. It's just got it written all over. The amount of chances that we've missed. There's the goal. There's the goal. We really should have scored at the end of the pitch. Hit the crossbar. Rochdale hit us on the counter-attack, and they've been at it, to be fair. Had some good chances, but we really, really have missed too many decent chances of our own. We really should have done a lot better with our chances. We should be 2, 3, 4 goals up in this game. We do have a chance, though, with a minute or so to go as Hawkins on the edge of the area. Heems puts it in the back of the net. What an absolute pile driver, and what a way to score your first goal for the club. Heems may have rescued the 3 points for us today, which we really do deserve. We deserve to get the 3 points. We deserve the win. We should have scored plenty more goals today, but we do pick up the 3 points. Well-deserved 3 points. Really needed those 3 points as well after losing to Peterborough in the game before. But that was a superb performance from the boys. Really pleased with that, and it's very promising. So, back up to 13th in the table this time. One place below we started the episode, but still on level points with Notts County. Only 4 points behind Shrewsbury in the playoffs. That's pretty decent as well. So I think we really are on for a top half finish this season. Definitely mid-table, maybe top half. I think playoffs and automatics are just a bit too out the question at the moment. I don't think we're quite consistent enough and good enough against these top sides to get there. But I've got to say, I'm pretty pleased with the way we've played so far this season. Top 10, not out of the question at all. Woodthorpe's only out for a few days, which is okay because we've got 2 weeks before the next game against Rotherham for some reason, which is... I mean, I'm not quite sure why, but I don't mind. Next episode then, I want to go forward a little bit more. We've got a few cup games, a few league games. I reckon we go for... I reckon Colchester and Wigan is going to be decent enough. We had Shrewsbury on the first day of the season, didn't we? So that obviously the halfway point of the season there pretty much. So I reckon we go for the Colchesters and the Wigans. Whilst I'm here as well, I've just realised, completely forgot to tell you about it as well right at the start of the episode. Guess which team now has basic training facilities and basic youth facilities? That's right, Lincoln United. We have had our upgrade come through. We've gone from poor to basic now. So actually, it's maybe worth asking. Facilities, improve training facilities, please. Will they do it again, do you reckon? They're not really good enough, are they? He reckons they're good enough. They're not good enough. I urge you to reconsider. And they're rejecting the request. Okay, well, we need a bit more money first to do that. Let's be cheeky and ask for increased youth level. That would be quite nice. And again, they want to sign players for the first team rather than develop them. Come on, lad. Just let us do it. Go on then. We're not sure which squad list you're What did I say? Oh, I thought actually he made an ultimatum there because he was on about most of our key players and many years left in them and something like that. Not sure which squad list you're looking at. I panicked. Wasn't an ultimatum, but I should probably read before I click things. He's denied the request either way. He thinks the team's young enough. And so we're not getting any training facilities or youth facilities anytime soon. But at least we have had a slight upgrade, so things are slightly better for us. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.